Martinsville Speedway, the track where Ross Chastain became immortal. The track where he rode the wall, gained 5 spots in one corner, and put himself in the championship 4. The most insane moment in modern NASCAR history happened right here. And this past Sunday, he came back to his track, his sacred ground, and his own teammate, a guy from New Zealand who's been in stock cars for 3 years, outscored him. Again. By a lot. And now Chastain is 19th in the standings, outside the chase, watching Shane van Gisbergen sit 14th in the same Trackhouse racing equipment. Same team, same garage, different universe. This is getting ugly, and I don't think it's going to get better. You have to understand what Martinsville means to Ross Chastain, because without that context, this story is just another bad race. With the context, it's devastating. October 2022, Martinsville Speedway, last lap. Chastain needs to gain 5 positions to make the championship 4. The final 4 drivers who race for the title. 5 spots, on the last lap, at a half-mile paperclip oval where passing is nearly impossible. It can't be done. Everyone watching knows it can't be done. And Chastain does something that nobody in the history of NASCAR has ever attempted in a real race. He floors it into the final corner, turns right, and rides the outside wall. Full throttle, sparks flying, car grinding against concrete, and gains 5 positions in one turn. They called it the Hail Melon. It became the most replayed moment in NASCAR history. ESPN covered it. The New York Times wrote about it. People who had never watched a stock car race in their lives were sharing the clip. That moment defined Chastain. It made him a folk hero, a watermelon farmer from Florida who drove like he had nothing to lose and pulled off the impossible at Martinsville. That's who he is. That's his identity. And every time he comes back to this track, the weight of that moment sits on the roof of his car. So when Chastain returned to Martinsville for the Cookout 400 this past Sunday, it wasn't just another race. It was a homecoming. And homecomings are supposed to feel good. This one didn't. Let me show you what happened at Martinsville through the standings. Because while the chaos on track tells one story, the points tell a colder one. Going into Martinsville, Chastain was 20th in the standings with 115 points. After Martinsville, he's 19th, 136 points. He gained 21 points, moved up 1 spot, from 20th to 19th. At Martinsville, the track that made him. 1 spot. Now look at his teammate. Shane van Gisbergen went into Martinsville 15th with 140 points. After Martinsville, he's 14th, 174 points. He gained 34 points, jumped a spot, and opened the gap on Chastain to 38 points. Same team, same Trackhouse racing, same Chevrolet engineering, same pit crew structure, same manufacturer support. His SVG gained 34. Chastain gained 21. 13-point gap in a single race. At the track where Chastain is supposed to be untouchable. The guy who's been in stock cars for 3 years outperformed the guy who wrote his legend here. That's not a bad day. That's a trend. And it is a trend. That's the part Chastain fans don't want to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway because the numbers demand it. Before Martinsville, Chastain was 20th. After 6 races, he'd qualified 6th at Phoenix, so the speed is in the car. But the results weren't following. Meanwhile, SVG, the road course specialist, the guy the garage said would disappear on ovals, was 15th, competitive at every oval. Running near the front at Atlanta's Superspeedway when Kyle Larson crashed into him. Picking up points at COTA, Holding position at Phoenix, Las Vegas, Darlington. Not winning, but never falling off. Consistent. Relentless. Exactly the kind of driver the new chase format rewards. And then there's the third Trackhouse car. Connor Zilisch. The kid they hired to replace Daniel Suarez. The 19-year-old phenom who was runner-up in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series last season. So now look at the Trackhouse garage from Chastain's perspective. On one side, a 3-time Supercars champion who's proving the critics wrong every week and sitting 14th in the standings. On the other side, a teenager they brought in because the last guy wasn't performing well enough. And in the middle, you, Ross Chastain, 19th, outside the chase, 31 points behind the cutoff line, at the track where you once did the impossible. The track where you became a legend. And your teammate from New Zealand just had a better day here than you did. You see why this is getting uncomfortable? And here's where it gets structurally terrifying for Chastain. Because the 2026 chase format is specifically designed to punish the kind of driver he's always been. Under the old elimination-style playoffs, Chastain thrived. He was the chaos driver, the guy who could pull a miracle out of nowhere on any given Sunday. The Hail Melon was the ultimate expression of that. One insane, reckless, beautiful moment that changed his entire season. The old format rewarded that. Win one race, you're in the playoffs. Pull one miracle, you're in the championship 4. The new chase? Top 16 in points. No win and you're in. No miracles. Just grind, grind, grind for 26 races and hope your points total is high enough. Wins are worth 55 points. But Chastain doesn't have any wins. He's banking 15, 20, 25 points a race from mid-pack finishes. And at that rate, with 19 races left and 31 points to make up just to crack 16th, he needs to average about 2 points per race better than the guy currently holding 16th. That doesn't sound like much. But when you're racing against SVG and Suarez and Logano and McDowell for those same spots, 2 points per race is a war. And the worst part? SVG doesn't even need to try to hurt Chastain. Every point SVG scores is a point that pushes the cutoff line higher. Chastain isn't just racing the guys below him. He's racing his own teammate. And his own teammate is winning that race by 38 points. And that leads to the conversation nobody at Trackhouse Racing wants to have. But it's coming. Sooner than they think. Justin Marks built Trackhouse from nothing. Hired Chastain. Gave him the shot that made the Hail Melon possible. Then he hired SVG, a bet on international talent that's paying off beyond anyone's expectations. Then he replaced Suarez with Zilisch, investing in the future. 3 drivers, 3 different profiles, but only so many resources to go around. When SVG is 14th and trending up, the team puts energy into his car. When Zilisch is developing into the next star, the team invests in his program. And when Chastain is 19th and falling further behind, what happens? In NASCAR, loyalty only stretches as far as the next contract negotiation. Chastain knows that. He watched it happen to Suarez, the original Trackhouse driver, the guy who was there from day one, and Suarez is gone, replaced, now driving for a different team, and currently 16th in the standings, on 4 spots ahead of the man who replaced him. If Chastain finishes the season outside the top 16, while SVG makes the chase in the same equipment, that's not just an embarrassment. That's a conversation about the number 1 car's future. And everyone in that garage knows it. Here's the thing about the Hail Melon. It worked because the wall was there. Literally. The concrete wall at Martinsville was the tool Chastain used to do the impossible. He turned a barrier into a slingshot. But the wall Chastain is hitting in 2026 isn't made of concrete. It's made of points. And you can't ride a points deficit at full throttle into the final corner and come out ahead. That's not how the new chase works. There's no Hail Mary in a format built on consistency. There's no wall to ride when the problem is 26 races of grinding out results you haven't been able to produce. Martinsville was supposed to remind us who Ross Chastain is. Instead, it reminded us who he isn't anymore. And his own teammate, the guy from the other side of the world, in the same car, is proof. Can Chastain save his season? Or is the Hail Melon the last great chapter? Comments. Like. Subscribe. See you tomorrow.